Welcome.
L'chaim.
Rabbi Lerner,
Thank you.
there's a calling in town.
L'chaim. L'chaim.
Well, the abroad.
Yes, can I
Yaron. Yaron.
Iran?
Yaron.
Yaron, it's Israeli name.
What's your name?
Benzion.
Benzion.
This is the famous Ben Sia.
Iran, Frankfurt, Jenkins.
How are you? Oh, Hashem.
Okay, Brucham Abayim. Rabbi say we're learning the Shulchan Aruch of the Alter Rebbe, Simin Kuf Yud Dalid.
Kuf Yud Dalet.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, Kuf Yud Zayin.
Oh, thank you.
Simin Kuf Yud Zayin.
Okay,
And
let me
we're holding Sif Beis.
What that?
So it's page Shalah, Shin Lamed Hey.
No, no, for what you live.
Shin Lamed Hey.
Shin Lamed.
So we know in Eretz Yisrael, 1 week ago, they started in Zayin Cheshmin to ask in the Bracha Baruch Aleinu for the same Tal Umatar. The Iker is the Matar, the same Tal. The Tal part is not a Chiyuv, it's a Minhag that we mentioned Tal. But the same Matar is a Chiyuv to be Shoyel Tal, and Eretz Yisrael starting Zayin Cheshvan. And in Chutz La'aretz, we do it at a later time, closer to the time when it's needed. Now, the reason why we mentioned we ask for Matar in the bracha of Baruch Aleinu, Berachas Hashanim, is because this is the bracha about Parnasa. We're asking for a good year, Parnasa. Well, rain is necessary for things to grow, and that we should have Parnasa. Now, we mentioned, also we discussed that that we follow in Bavel, the minig was not to follow Zayin Cheshvan, but in Bavel they used to ask, since Bavel is not a land that needed the Geshamim right away like Eretz Yisrael, so they would ask at a later point in time, 60 days after the Yom HaTkufa, after the winter season started, what was the time when they started to need rain after the planting season. Now we have a minig everywhere around the world that wherever we are, and in Europe, we always follow the minig the way it was in Bavel. Bavel is Iraq. So some had a shaila on this. Why should we be following the minig in Bavel? Since rain is necessary for the planting, after you plant, you want it to rain right away. So why is that connected? Why should we follow in Bavel? Mela we follow when there's a machlekes, Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi. We follow the Bavli. That comes regarding Isser, Heter, Tumah, Tara, Chiyuv, and Pater. But about whether or not you need the rain, every place should ask for the same Talamater at the time when rain is needed in that place. So why are we following? This was the Rosh, the famous Shubha the Rosh, which he was very bothered at the fact that we are all following Chachmei Bavel. He said we don't have to follow Chachmei Bavel in this issue.
I ask a question.
Yeah.
When we call out the Moilid is when it's going to be in Shalayim.
Right.
They don't say it here in Shul. People think it's going to happen over here, but it's so.
No. Moiled of Eretz Yisrael, yeah.
Yeah. So, how many Jews are living in Babel? None. Why shouldn't the Rabbanim get together and change it now? There's some other place where there's more Yidden.
But again, this rain,
Yeah.
this is sort of like the question.
That's the Rosh. Because basically what we're doing is we're giving a bracha to a place like Babel that kicked the Yidden out. That's my point.
I don't have an answer to your question.
Is it a valid question? Or
it's a valid question. And the Rosh was very bothered with this. And however, Lamaisa, the psak halacha, the minig is not that we still follow Bavel. So there's maybe a ruchnistic reason for it. more than a gashmistic reason, because we need rain earlier, and other countries need rain at an earlier time. Now, Lamaisa, we do, even though the minig is not like that, and we do follow Bavel, we don't make a different time for when to start being Shoel Geshamim in each country. We don't say in this country, in Germany now, in Russia, this, Poland, this time, Hungary, America. We all follow the way it was originally when we were in Bavel, we were in Gullus, and that continued everywhere. We didn't change as much. Now, however, one thing is that if someone made a mistake in Shemana Esrei, and B'di Evet said the same Tal Umatar now, let's say, in the United States, saying Tal Umatar, you are not Choizer. Because since we have the sheet of the Rush, that really we should start asking for rain earlier, we rely on that sheet of B'di Evet that you don't have to Choizer and go back to Baruch Aleinu and say the same bracha and not say the same Talmud.
Once you were here when he said the story what happened in Australia when the Rebbe says to Kasicha and Rabbi Corner was saying, why do you change him?
I heard a thing about the talus.
Yeah.
I flew with my uncle.
Oh, he was talking about
You know that story?
No.
I had an Uncle Gershon.
Speak louder.
I had an Uncle Gershon.
That's good.
And actually, his uncle was famous. His name was Moshe Leib Rothstein. He was a masker, one of the secretary of the pretty addicted Rebbe and the Rebbe. He went over to Leib Gunner and he asked him when he was getting married if he should make a shechiyona on the talus. So Leib Gunner said in the story it's on tape.
Mm-hmm.
That he had this his father had this issue with asked
Gershon's father.
No, that label grown his father and he asked the Rebbe Rayatz if he should do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rayatz said it wasn't his minute. Apparently the Rebbe asked his father-in-law if he should, and he said it wasn't our minute or whatever. But it seems like it didn't sit well with the Rebbe. So when my uncle went over and asked the Rebbe if he should make a shechiyah in his talus, says, being that you're asking, you should make, and keep me in mind. What Leibel was saying is that all these years that he was married, it bothered him that he didn't make a shechiyah on his talus. So the question arises and still says, and we believe this morning is, what's more important? Is it minhag or
telling the story what happened.
halacha minhag? As long as it doesn't coincide with
that
each
might
other.
answer this question.
You always follow the mimic.
But that might answer the
Wanna go
question.
first with him? No.
Yeah.
That's his question.
Yeah.
Know this story?
Something, a little bit of it, yeah. Okay. Sif Beis, Rabbi say, Ad Mosai Shoylan Hagshamim. Till what point do we ask Shamim at Tfilas Hamincha Shal Erev Yointiv Arishin Shal Pesach? Till the Mincha of Erev Yontif for Pesach. That's the last time that you're going to ask for saying Talamoter. Misham ve'elech poiskin lishel k'may shepoiskin lahaskir. From then on, we stop asking for rain, and we also stop mentioning. Now, we don't really stop then. We only stop by Musaf. Shachris, on the first day Pesach, is the last time we say Masha V'ruach HaMeir HaGeshem. So why is he saying Moshe Poiskin Lahaskir? So he explains, Afilu koidim shepoiskin lahaskir. Kegoyin shata v'hischil belel yomtiv tfilas choil. V'niskir acha shehischil birchas hashanim. Shehu tzarech ligma oise bracha. L'yemer b'v saying talamoter. Shali af lahaskir medim lahafsa bil yomtiv. Saying is like this. There is a halacha in Hilchos Shabbos in Simonei Samaches. If someone starts on Shabbos, you're davening on Shabbos or Yom Tov. You start davening Shemon Esrei and you start saying the Tfilas Choy like you used to. At the Landas, Bina, and you reach up to Baruch Aleinu. Okay? The halacha is that whenever you remember which bracha you're in, you complete that bracha. You complete it, and then you go back to your Shabbos davening. Yom Tov davening.
You don't start over from the.
No. You go back to and we don't say it's a bracha lavatala. Because really, on Shabbos we could also say a tfilas chayil. Elamai, we don't want to be tirchid tzibura on Shabbos because we have daven, we have sudas and everything. So therefore, Chazal didn't say daven the Shemon Esrei and add in like a yalav yave, or it's say for Shabbos. They made a whole new Shemon Esrei, a smaller Shemon Esrei, me'in sheva. So if you did by accident say a tfilas choil, in the middle you started saying tfilas choil, and you find yourself in the middle of bracha, you chapped, oi, it's Shabbos, you're finished that bracha with the Shem Hashem, and then you go back and you go to the Shabbos Shemon Esrei, the middle bracha. So if Yom Tif by night, interesting thing, the night of Pesach, this happens to you. The night of Pesach, and we know that when do we stop asking for rain? Tfilas Mincha on Erev Pesach. When do we? Because we don't say Baruch Aleinu on Pesach, on Yom Tif. Now, when do we stop mentioning being masker Mashav Geshem? Shachris is the last time we say it. Shachris Pesach, because Musaf we already bench Geshem. Tfilas Geshem.
Well, wait a minute. Aren't they supposed to harvest the Omer? They don't want rain. They don't want rain. That's exact. They don't want rain when they have to deal with the Omer. Is that right?
We don't ask for rain.
After Shacharis.
After Shachris, no.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So if by accident Friday, if Yom Tif by night, you start saying a weekday Shemon Esrei, and you find yourself in the middle of Baruch Aleinu, which the halacha is now you remember Shabbos that you should finish Baruch Aleinu, the whole bracha, Birchas Hashanim. You do not ask, you're not shoyel for mutter, even though you're still being masker. At night, Yom Tif night, you still say Mashach Mena Geshem. Shachris, you're going to say Mashach Mena Geshem. And now you're saying a bracha, Baruch Aleinu, on the Yom Tif of Pesach, and you're supposed to finish the bracha. You don't say Mashach Mena Geshem anymore. I mean, saying Talamot. Why? Why? Really, we should have stopped being masquerade. It's Pesach. It's spring now. Chodesh Aviv. The first day Pesach, we should have stopped already by night. El she'echeru ad musaf mishum she'ein kol al mitzuyim beis hakneses balayla v'yu agudus agudus. We don't want that you should stop by night because nighttime, not everyone is in shul. So you're going to have a matzah where some people know that we're stopping to say Mashav Geshem, and some people don't. So it's going to be agudis. And so therefore, we continue to be maskir until Musaf. However, Umatar, we don't ask, even if you're saying Baruch Aleinu, and Kain, B'she'elo, She'enat Sibra Shoyelim, Hu, Lo Yishol, because it's going to be agudis. You're doing your own thing. But everyone else already stopped saying in Baruch Aleinu. No one's davening a Yom Chol Shemon Esrei Yom Tov night. You made a mistake. So you have a din to say it. But no one else is saying it, and everyone else is not shoyel anymore. They're saying Talamoter. V'cheinem ha'she'elo hi b'leil Shabbos. V'to yochid b'spal shel choil, lo yishol kimish hatzibur lehischilu hadayin shayochid nigrer acha hatzibur b'chol mokin.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. What happens if the day in Chutz La'aretz, when we start saying the saying Talamoter, is usually December 4th or December 5th? If let's say that falls out on a Shabbos that day. Shabbos, we don't say Birchas Hashanim, so we're not going to ask on Shabbos. So we're going to wait till Matzah Shabbos. But you made a mistake in your Shabbos Shemona Esrei, and you started saying Tfilas Choil. And Akadekachta, you reached up to Baruch Aleinu. And in the middle of Baruch Aleinu, you chapped, it's Shabbos. And you also are a Talmud Chacham, and you remember that you are supposed to finish the bracha. If you find yourself in the middle of a bracha of Choil, finish the bracha, and only then go back to your Shabbos davening. So you have to finish the whole Birchas Hashanah, the Baruch Aleinu, till the ending. So now, what should I do? This Shabbos is really the time we're really supposed to start being Shoel Geshamim. But it's Shabbos, and L'Poyel, we don't do weekday davening on Shabbos, so it's pushed off the Matzah Shabbos. So what should I do? Halacha is that you only start when the whole tzibur starts. And since it's tzibur, even though today is a day when really we're supposed to start, and if it would have been on Sunday, we would have started, but it's a Shabbos to push it off, you also have to wait. You're not sure, you say Meider Hatol, or if you're davening the Ashkenaz, you don't say anything. You finish Baruch Aleinu, and Matzah Shabbos, you join everyone else together, and you say the same Talamotter. Yeah, clear? The Yachid follows the Tzibur in all situations. Siv Gimel, Mishal Motter Acha Yom Tivadishin Shel Pesach. What happens if you forgot and it came Cholamoid and or after Pesach and you daven Shemona Esrei and you said the same Talamotter because you've been used to saying that a whole winter. So it takes you time to get used to the fact that you're not saying that anymore.
You didn't say 90 times.
So you said the same Talamotter.
After
the Siyum HaBracha. Sarech lachzer l'roish habracha. You have to go back again because we do not want rain in the spring and the summertime. It's not the planting season, and it's a time when we are cutting the produce and bringing it in, harvesting it. It's not a time you want rain, so it's a klala. It's a siman klala. So if you say the same tal umatar in the Yimais Hachama, the summertime, you have to go back to the beginning of the bracha, or if you finish the bracha, you have to go back to the beginning of the bracha. If you do not remember till you finished other brachas, so the last of the Reish go back to Birchas Hashanim. Kol habrachas ala seder.
All habrachas?
All the brachas you have to go back to the beginning, to where you to back to Baruch Aleinu, and say Baruch Aleinu again without the same Talamotter, because it's a siman klala. Now, what happens if he didn't remember until he finished Shemona Esrei, or later on brachas? What do? We're going to learn the Mitzvah Shem soon. Siv Dalet. Im loy shal motor, b'mois hagshamim, machzirin oisei. During the winter time, now, when we start saying, we're saying Talamata, you forgot and you didn't ask for rain. What is the halacha? Machzirin oisei, you have to go back and say Baruch Aleinu again with the same Talamata. Hafilu imshal tal. Even if you asked for tal, even if you said the same tal, it's not going to help. Although by Meir Hatal, by Haskara, we say that if you forgot, now we are now saying, since Shemini Atzeres, we started to say Masha V'Chameir HaGeshem. If you forgot and you said Meir Hatol, you don't go back. Meir Hatol can substitute B'di'evet for Meir HaGeshem. We don't say that when it comes to, that's only by Haskara. We don't say that by She'ela. So She'ela ain't edoima la Haskara. Shehizkir tal b'makom Geshem ein machzina isay she'Haskara hisidr shivchei shel makom. Ve'iradas hatal igam kin shevach loy et shevach for HaKadosh Baruch Hu k'ma hiradas HaGeshem. Aber she'ela tzarich lishol kol davar hameviyeh lidei bracha hein tal ve'in Geshem. Ve'in tal oil makom Geshem. Masha Baruch Hu Geshem is beikr, just you're being Meshabeach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not asking for something, you're being maskir. Hashem, you have the koyach to bring Geshem. So if you say a different Shavach, although really you should be saying be Mefayas HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the Shavach, what you're going to ask. Yeah, but it's okay. But She'ela, you have to ask for what you need. You didn't ask for what you need. You asked for Tal, you didn't ask for Geshem. You need Geshem now. Now is the planting season. So therefore, it's a problem, and you have to go back if you missed out the same Tal Umatar. B'komakim loy shal Tal machzina say she'elas Tal atal ein ela minig shechacham lichiver klal v'Tal loy b'she'ela loy b'haskara. If someone said in Baruch Aleinu b'sein Matar, give Matar, it didn't say the same Tal or Matar, didn't say give do. You're not chayzer. Tal is not ma'akiv, not by Haskara, by Meir Hatol in the summertime, and that's why Minig Ashkenaz is they actually don't say Meir Hatol in the summer. Those Dam Nusach Ashkenaz, because it's a Minig. Chacham never said to say Tal, and the same thing in the winter. This that we say the saying Tal or Matar be put in Tal. It's also only a minig and not a chiyuv. Tal and ruchais are not chiyuv. A masha b'ruach and meir hatol and saying Tal only Geshem is a chiyuv. A chiyuv haskara of Geshem from Shminat Seres. A chiyuv she'elon Geshem from Zayin Cheshvan in Eretz Yisrael, and in Chutz La'aretz we go on a different cheshvan based on Bnei Bavel. Sif Hey. Im loy shal matar v'nisker koidim shehischot kaba shofar shoylei sham. If someone did not ask for rain, but he remembered before he started the next bracha to kaba shofar. So baruch ata Hashem baruch Hashem. I forgot to saying Tal Matar. Can happen. Then shoylei sham, you ask it right there in between the two brachas. Since you said it right after the bracha, it's as if you asked it in the middle of the bracha, because Chazal did not say where exactly we should mention it in this bracha. They said to say it in this bracha. They didn't say exactly where. So as long as we're holding somewhere in the beginning and the ending of it, you can still stick it in. As long as you didn't start the next bracha. After you started Kabba Shofar, you remembered, you don't go back, and you wait for Shemei Tefillah Shema Kileinu, and you add it in before Ki'ata Shemei Tefillah's Kol Peh. Before Ki'ata, you say V'sein Tal Umatar Livracha. You put it right there, because you're allowed to ask all your shilas that you need in Shema Kileinu. So if you forgot to ask it there, put it into Shema Kileinu, then you don't have to go back. So now we know the Seder. If you forget Mashavach of saying Tal Umatar, you must go back. If you're middle of the bracha, say it again. You finish the bracha before the next bracha, say it right there. If you went into the Kabba Shofar already, you wait for Shema Tefillah and say it there. Why can't we do the same thing for Mashavach Meir Geshem? If you forgot Mashavach Meir Geshem, and let's say you're Noyig Nusach Ashkenaz, you didn't say Meir Hatol, so why don't we say mention Mashavach Meir Geshem Shema Kileinu? Why do we say no? You have to go back to the beginning of Atta Gibor. If you're middle, and if you're not, you go back to the beginning of Shemana Esrei. Masha'in came baskara shehu shevach ve'ein lo inyan b'shemei tefillah. Shevach has no place in Shemei Tefillah. It's not the time in Shema Kileinu to praise Hashem. We're asking Hashem to hear us. We're not here to praise Hashem Shevach. It doesn't belong in this bracha Shevach. The first three brachas are Shevach. The last three brachas, we don't mention Shevach in this bracha. So if you don't have that option to make up for the missed Mashav Beracho Geshem and stick it into Shema Kileinu, you don't have that. By She'ela you do. You finish Baruch Aleinu and you forgot, wait for Shemei Tefillah and stick it in there because it's a She'ela. A She'ela you could ask the Shema Kileinu.
Shevach, you can say the whole tefillah. All the tefillot you can say Shevach.
No. The first three, the middle is She'ela Tzrach of Kol Adam. You have to ask. You have a chiyuv min HaTorah to ask for your tzrachim.
But if you want to give Shevach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
after Shemana Esrei, before, but you have a chiyuv to ask from him things. The person can say, I'm only going to praise him, but my needs, I don't need to ask. No, you need to ask for your needs. We're Eved L'fei Koinoi, Eved L'fei Adonai. We have to ask for our tzrachim.
you can ask for your tzrachim and finish it.
100%. But
the time
in the Shemana Esrei, you can't mix the different things, the different brachas. Each bracha, its thing. So the middle brachas are she'elos, and the beginning and the ending is for shvachim. Even the shvachim, we have to know that we shevach is only what hakel hagadol hagiva neira sulai. We don't say more. Like Gemara says, you don't say more when the Nevi'im said. The Hashakas Hagdoila, you don't add. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Ein Sof. You have to know what to say and what not to say.
Each person has different idea of Shevach HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah.
But
not part of the formal Shemana Esrei. Not part of the Nusach HaKavua, the Madbeya Shetavu Chacham.
You can change.
What happens if someone takes upon himself a tainus? Kabbalah's tainus is in the Shema Keilenu of the Mincha before the day you're going to fast. You want to say, tomorrow I'm going to fast. There were different times that there was a tainus sibur, they said is not sure why. This time they didn't convey anything because of the matzav in Eretz Yisrael.
Did the hot thing. Fast the hot.
There were
A lot of people didn't do the hot
fast the Bahab. So you take upon yourself in the mincha before the tanis that you're going to fast. So and during the tanis you say anenu in Shema Kelenu. You say anenu, Shema Kelenu. So if you missed Mashav Beracho Geshem, I mean not Mashav Beracho, the same Talamata, which you're making it up in Shema Kelenu. Where do you say before anenu or after anenu? Im hushari b'tayin is a top of page shin lamavav. V'tzarich leimer anenu b'shemei atfila. Yoimer v'sein talumatar koydem anenu. Shashe'ela chamura me'anenu. Shemlei omra klal machzin oisei mashen anenu. If someone missed out anenu, we know on a fast day, you missed anenu, you don't go back. Anenu, you don't have to go back. But she'ein kain the Saint Talamater, you do have to go back for Saint Talamater. So when you were in Shari B'tainus and Shema Kelenu, you have to add in two things. You forgot the Saint Talamater, so you have to say that first, because it's more chamer. Then you add an anenu because you're fasting that day. What happens if even Mishma Keleni you forgot to say the Sin Talamater? But you remember right after you said Baruch Atah Hashem Shemei Tefillah. Shoyel right there. Because you're still part of Shema Keleni. Until you said the next words would say, still part of this bracha. So you could say it right there, in between the two brachas. If you did not remember till after you started, it would say, now you're in a problem. If you did not yet take 3 steps back, you're still in the middle of the last 3 brachas. You go back to Baruch Aleinu. All the way back to Baruch Aleinu. If you went 3 steps back, You don't have that option anymore. You have to go back to the beginning of Shemana Esrei. V'mhishim tfilasei v'niraga loy metachnunam af tfilasei. When someone finishes Shemana Esrei, we say alakai netzer. Alakai netzer is a tfilas yachid. We say a private. We say balashon yachid. Alakai netzer l'shoini. Everything is lashon yachid. Masha'inking the whole Shemana Esrei is lashon ab. This is already considered tachnunim she'achrei atfilah. So if you're someone who then it wasn't kavua l'kainitzer. So someone did not say anything. He did not have any tachnunim. Even if he was not okar raglov, he did not take 3 steps back. Once you finish Shemana Esrei, you finished. So now you have to go back to the beginning of Shemana Esrei. But what happened, and as well, hu adinim rogel loy metachnunim. If you do always say tachnunim like we do, we say alakai netzar always. V'siyim tachnunav v'ama achrei mil ratzin. Shva'miras pasuk zeh also hesach hadas miloymar oy tachnunim v'nishtiflasei. After you said you l'ratzin, even though you didn't take 3 steps back, you have to go back to the beginning of Shemana Esrei. So, for L'Poyel, L'Didan, for our minig, we were noyig, that Klal Yisrael says Alakai Netzar. After you, the second you L'Ratzin, if you said that and you did not say saying Talamata, now you have to go back to the beginning of Mishnah.
הוא מade the tefillah אנשי כנסת הגדולה?
If you didn't yet say that's you Ratzin, you go back to Baruch Aleinu. Go back to Baruch Aleinu.
The second one.
Yeah.
If the whole phone Esrei is dropping, so if the person put that play, Talmud of Rafa, so he's ma'akif is it should be rain whole community. It's not only it's like out of kindness, daughter. So why should he have to go back? The rabbi, only one, piece of the puzzle. One person doesn't say trends, no more rain.
Bishta needs everyone's tefillah.
Yeah, the majority, but 99.9 said it. So one person doesn't say it. So who does Hashem where to skip?
I hear it's a good question. I don't know. File or everyone, who's makif, who's not? Everyone is a klal. Chazal or mechay. Once they're mechay, you're mechuyev to say it. It's a chiyuv. So
It sounds like a yachid thing. Doesn't sound like a rabbi thing.
The lakai netzer is.
I'm talking about Talmud of Rafa.
No, everyone needs to say it.
Right. So if one person doesn't say it, you have to go back to the beginning. But the whole field is wrapped. You just mentioned it. You say lashon rabbis.
And what happens if the whole minyan forgot? Once chacham or mechayiv, you're mechuyev. You can't say that I'm a yotzim and a klal. Then everyone's going to say, "Oh, I don't need to say. I'm just a yachid. I'm just a yachid."
The lotion is a goodness. One guy say one. Awesome.
Chazal wanted conformity. Everyone is saying, you have to say with everyone. You can't. Al yoytzi atzmim in a klal. Al yoytzi atzmim in a klal.
He didn't mention what happened if we finish Monasa and I'm super clear. They say I didn't say.
The Gemara says very harsh things for someone who the klal, if the person is Polish atzmim in a tzibur, there's a certain tzara or something like that, and he lives his own life. He has his own life, and he keeps Torah mitzvahs, but he's on his own. He's not part of Klal Yisrael. He does his own thing. So when the tzibur has a whole tzara, he's not part of the tzara. He has his own program running over there because he doesn't have that tzara. So he has his own program. So the Chazal say very harsh things. You're not allowed to be Polish atzim in that tzibur. We have to be part of the tzibur. You're not allowed to take yourself out of the tzibur. He's a shomer Torah mitzvahs. He's a kaddish. He's doing everything he has to do. The Peidish Atzim and Tzibur, a terrible thing.
What domain is that specifically referring to? The Parashman Tzibur, like somebody goes down like what areas does it mean to be part of a Tzibur? Like so person Shomer Torah is there meaning his davening is like.
Over there, I think the discussion is like with the tzara. There's the eighth tzara. Everyone's together davening and doing things for the tzara, and he's He's
His
doing his
own
own
world.
thing. He's on his own. He's not concerned. I'm good.
Yes,
I'm doing my own thing. There's something about we're not here on our own. Am Yisrael's, we're here together. We're all together here.
הצרה היא
ביחד.
ליעקב,
ביחד.
וממנה היא
Like now, we are ביחד.
Right.
We don't mention what happened if somebody has a suffix. Finish 18, אני רוצה know. אולי זה 18, בוא, סנטר
It's
למסך.
true. It's true. L'chorem is probably the same din like we learned by Haskara.
If you said it 90
That
times, yes. You didn't say it 90
we
times.
assume that if you have a suffix, up to 30 days, if you have a suffix that you didn't say what you're supposed to say.
Mhm.
After the 30 days, we assume if you have a suffix that you said what you're supposed to say. Because now 30 days went by, you have a chazaka, 30 days that you've been saying what you should be saying Talamatar or Mashach Geshem. So we assume you said it.
סופק ברכה
So if you have
ביחד.
right now, if right now we didn't start saying it, but if you'll when we start saying Talamatar, you have a suffix, we assume you didn't say. That's a good point. It doesn't bring it down to the siman, but that we learned by Haskara. That's it.
No, we said ב-10 טילים עונה הזאת.
הרבה.
משמיע ומזכיר. בבקשה.
תמחה את זכר עמלק מתחת השמיים.
Beautiful.
So we're talking about public opinion also after doing that, or back then we didn't have to worry about public opinion.
Listen, Esav שונא ליעקב. If you're good or not good, they hate you. So do whatever you have to do. They're going to hate you anyway. Just do it and finish.
It's a good
My opinion.
A good hour is a dead hour.
I saw a video clip of the Rebbe today that someone came up $1. I think it was a reporter. I don't remember exactly who it was. And he asked the Rebbe if he still holds that you shouldn't give back land in Yehuda, Shemran, and Aza. That you shouldn't give it back. So the Rebbe said that yeah, we shouldn't give it back. So he said that even if all the Goyim are saying that they're all upset and they say you have to give it back, so the Rebbe said yeah, and he said that these people that don't like Klal Yisrael, they always have reasons why they don't like us.
Mhm.
It's not going to change whether we're going to give it back or not. They're not going to like us. And he said that he told him I grew up in Russia. He told him in Hebrew, I grew up in Russia. And over there, they made up blood libels. And he said that, they knew it wasn't true, but they made up a blood libel that, so this is our history. So it's very difficult, but the Rebbe always demanded that we see now, unfortunately, how America is sitting on top of the Israeli government's head. And every step of the way, they're telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then listen to us, because they don't know that there's Anshi Sedaim. We're reading at the Pasha about Anshi Sedaim. So, Ula Yesh Chamishim Tzadikim B'Teicha Hazeh. We're dealing with a city that is Kulei Rasha, and it's very hard to start saying how many real people there are, really good people and civilized people that really if love Eretz Yisrael and love America. Very, very few. Very few, unfortunately. So the concept of civilians and Hamas, it's a big grace of mishpach over there. And grace of mishpach is a big sheker. And people don't chap or don't want to chap a lot of the Western society, how it works in a lot of in the Middle East. That's the issue. It's not like the other ones are all that you did them and Ayavim.
There's about 1,000 Marines.
None of us will walk. No one will ever go near any of the areas in the Yehuda and Shemran and that belong to the Arabs. You can't get alive if you walk into one of those places. And it's not Hamas. It's not.
There's about 1,000 American Marines now in Israel, in a base and everything.
Yeah.
In Israel?
I'm saying, they're already there with the jeeps and everything. They gave him a land, and they made a camp and everything.
By Gaza?
No, Faham. I'm saying one rocket fall over there and few foreign rates will die. I want to see what America going to say then.
They would
I don't want it to happen, but if it will happen.
They would tell Israel, go finish them. They would not go. Like America telling now Israel, it's over the Iran. And we back you up.
David, thank you for joining us.
Donald?